I'm Steve Johnson, the President and COO of Tucker-Rocky and Biker's Choice. More important than that, I've been a motorcycle enthusiast for over 50 years. I've always enjoyed the exhilaration of riding the open highways, the adrenaline rush of cracking the throttle, and the quick acceleration. You know, I've also realized the need for raw acceleration and power when entering a freeway or passing a long line of slower traffic or semis. It's not only about the seat of the pants feeling you get, but it's about safety. This is my new ride. It's a 2010 Road Glide. It came with a stock 96-inch motor and 2-into-1 exhaust. After riding this bike for several thousand miles, it became obvious to me that I needed to wake it up to get more performance out of that engine. For that, I looked to George Smith and his team at S&S. S&S was founded over 50 years ago and has been totally focused on building engines and extracting the maximum performance out of Harley-Davidson engines. If you can't find George at the factory, he's probably at the racetrack, continuously looking for ways to make more power. So George, tell us a little bit about S&S and what are we going to do with this bike?
Well, thank you, Steve. My pleasure. S&S Cycle is the premier manufacturer of high-performance parts for American V-twin motorcycles. That may sound like I'm blowing my own horn, and to some degree I am. My father started S&S Cycle in 1958, so it's been a family business for over 50 years. We know what it takes to go fast and maintain dependability. It's located in Viola, Wisconsin. This is where our company headquarters and our manufacturing facility are both located. And we pride ourselves on the fact that S&S parts are made right here in the USA. So let's talk about what we have in store for your bike. Steve, you mentioned the racetrack, and that may scare some people, but it shouldn't. We aren't trying to sell race parts to street riders, but we certainly are going to apply some of that technology to your bike. What we are going to do is to take you through our 4-step performance program, which is tailored to the current market conditions. The whole idea is to get up to speed at your own speed. Look at it this way. S&S makes complete engines and we offer 124-inch hot setup kits. Either one would instantly turn this bike into a monster, but they both represent a pretty large investment. That may be fine for some, but a lot of riders aren't willing or able to fork out that much money at one time. So the alternative is to increase performance in affordable steps. Step 1 is to install slip-on performance mufflers and high-flowing intakes such as our teardrop air cleaner or tuned induction system. Typically, this will give you about 8 to 10 horsepower increase. Incidentally, this is the cheapest horsepower increase you'll get. The parts aren't terribly expensive and they're easy to install. Step 2 is to add a set of performance cams. You generally end up with about 15 horsepower over stock in this step. And of course, you are still using the mufflers and intake from step 1. Step 3 is to add our big bore top end, which will increase the displacement of your engine. Yeah, bigger is better, no doubt about it. A late model twin cam 96-inch engine will end up at 106 cubic inches with this kit. This should end up with about 20 to 25 horsepower over stock. Step 4 is to have S&S CNC port your stock cylinder heads. This is an economical alternative to replacement heads, and the results are really impressive. A set of CNC ported heads on a 106 engine will produce around 40 horsepower more than the stock engine you started with. The beauty of this whole thing is that you don't have to come up with all the cash all at once, but you will enjoy increased performance right away along the way. I'm going to turn you over to Justin Bramstead from our product development department to get started with this first step. Steve, good luck and enjoy the ride.
Thanks, George.
Well, thank you, George. Today we're setting up this bike for a stage 1, which includes an intake and exhaust system. This particular bike is a 2010 Road Glide, which has a 2-into-1 exhaust system. So it has a few special considerations that we would have to take care of. We've already pulled the exhaust off of this bike. The idea, I guess, of our stage 1 is that you can kind of go as far as you want and stop, and then the parts are reusable, if you will, or they're already on your bike for, quote, stage 2, which would be camshafts, and then stage 3 would be big bore kit, and of course the CNC heads for those that just can't get enough. It's important to note, I guess, that if you really want all-out performance and you want to go big, that a 124 would be the biggest thing S&S would offer for you, and that is a completely different path than what we're going on today. Today's ideas, I guess, as the stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be to reuse as many stock components as you can, and that means we keep your stock crankcase, we would reuse your stock heads on the lower stages, and then keep the cost down and give you the best bang for the buck, I guess is the real idea with respect to all the stages. You can go as far as you want and stop when you get scared, or if you need more power, of course, you get your wallet out and we go for the next best product that we can put on to make this thing make power.